right. Hey kids, so good to see you. Pastor Hannah, pastor to kids at Covenant Grove Church, and Christina, one of our kids ministry teachers here. And we just want to talk to you a little bit more about what we started learning on Sunday. And we talked about how anytime we are afraid, we can depend on God. He's always with us. Now, we also talked about if we had something really important, how we would hide it and where we would put it. And some of the answers were like maybe under our bed or under a pillow, in a secret place. And dogs, like they hide their bones in the ground and things like that. So there's different ways that people hide and take care of things that are really important. And we started just a little bit talking about Moses and how his mother was afraid and she needed to depend on God and how she hid Moses. So Christina's gonna hop us back into that story and then we're gonna talk a little bit about it.
Sounds good. All right, guys, so there was a king who came to Egypt and he thought there were too many Hebrews. Now, the Hebrews were God's people, and this king was really afraid that these Hebrews were going to take over and kick him off his throne. And so he was very, very mean because he was so afraid. He didn't know how to react. He just became very, very mean to the Hebrews. And so one of the things he did was he took away their freedom and made them work as slaves, which means that they had to do whatever he asked them to do.
That's no good.
No. So if he needed his toilet cleaned or his shoes shined, like they had to do it. No complaining. So their lives were super, super hard, but the number of Hebrews continued to grow. So God continued to have more and more Hebrews in Egypt. And the king gave another terrible order or another terrible rule. Are you ready for this one?
Okay.
So he said all Hebrew baby boys were to be put to death.
Oh
So
my gosh.
no more baby boys.
That's so sad. I would be so sad if I was a mom.
Yeah,
Well, I am a mom.
me
but
too.
If I was a mom there.
Yes, for sure. A Hebrew woman named Jochebed had just given birth to a baby boy. So imagine her fear hearing this new rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she decided she was going to hide her baby to help keep him safe. So her daughter Miriam went and helped keep the baby safe by hiding him in the cattails on the river, the Nile River.
So she put him in a basket like this.
She put him in a basket and she put him on the Nile River. And so the basket floated like a boat. So the basket was protected.
They probably rocked him to sleep too.
Yeah. It was a very similar basket. Mom protected it so no water could get in, and it floated a lot like a boat. And so Miriam hung out on the side of the river and just watched to make sure he was safe. And then she heard someone coming, and that someone ended up being the king's daughter. And she saw the basket, saw the baby was crying, and the princess knew it was a Hebrew baby, but she felt really, really sorry for him. This baby was out on the river.
I was nervous that she was not going to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, but she felt really bad. She saw how cute he was and how he was all alone and felt really bad for him. And so she told Miriam, because she found Miriam. Miriam like popped out of her hiding place and they had a chat. And so she told Miriam to go back and with your mom, take care of this baby for me until he gets older. Because I'm just, the king's daughter. I can't take care of this baby on my own.
And the baby was still little enough that it needed mom's milk,
yes.
right? And so
he needed
was like,
food.
I know that the baby needs milk. And Miriam's like, oh, I know somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that was tricky.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what the princess decided to do, was give the baby back until he got older. And so when he became older, they gave the son back to the princess so he could go live at the castle with the king's daughter.
And they named him Moses.
Yes.
And it says, I think in there, that the king's daughter, we also call him Pharaoh, that she named him Moses because it means that she brought him up out of the water when she rescued him up out of the Nile. And so we're talking about this big idea. Anytime I am afraid, I can depend on God. I imagine that Jochebed Moses' mom, was really fearful.
Yes.
She had this little baby, and babies aren't always quiet.
Yeah.
Right? They cry, and they scream, and then they start to laugh, and then they start to talk when they get bigger. And so she probably is thinking, I'm not going to be able to keep them a secret.
Yeah.
And I bet there was lots of fear in her. But she remembered what God has told us always, is that when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. When we are afraid, oh, hit my mic, I always try to be careful about that. When we are afraid, we can put our trust in God because he is faithful. Now, there's other words for when we discuss being afraid. What are some other words for being afraid that you can think of? Scared. Fearful.
Yes. Terrified.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Anxious. Worried.
Mhm.
Those are all different ways to say that you're scared or
Yeah.
fearful. And so any of those times you feel those emotions, we know we can go to God and trust in him. Now, crazy that a baby in a basket could float on a huge river, not drown,
Yeah.
get found out by the daughter of who basically was his enemy, but then was rescued. And we're going to find out in our next lessons how Moses ended up being somebody that God used in really huge, great ways. But it
Yes.
started off by him just saving his life.
Yep. We never know what God has planned for us.
That's right. We never know. It's true. So you, as kids now, God has some really cool things planned for you. So pay attention to what he might be asking you to do. And even the little things now when you're afraid or worried or anxious or terrified, how God is with you and can help you through those things. So we look forward to seeing you next time as we
Yes.
continue our story on Moses.